Welcome to Live, Work, Stay with Billy Kay. Today we have as our guest Dr. Randy Akers, who's the director of the South Carolina Humanities Council, visiting from Columbia, and Megan Meyer, who is the spokesperson, the development director, I believe, for the Santa Elena Foundation. Stick with us. Welcome back to Live, Work, Stay with Billy Kay. Today I have with me Dr. Randy Akers, who is the director, founder and director, just about. Been with it a long time, the South Carolina Humanities Council. Randy's in Beaufort, as we had a meeting this morning, to talk about planning the 22nd statewide Humanities Festival, which can be in Beaufort and on Hilton Head. Randy, humanities, what is it?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Billy, for being part of the humanities and of course, inviting me down and hosting the Humanities Festival in June. The South Carolina Humanities Council is the state program of the National Endowment for the Humanities, which itself is this year 50 years old. We in South Carolina, as that state-based program, 43 years old, and I'm in my 28th year as director of the council.
That's pretty much like founding.
That's almost founding. It's almost founding. But what we do, we primarily are a grant-making agency where we try and provide funds around the state of South Carolina to educational institutions, to libraries, to museums, to historical societies, organizations that are involved in the culture and history and literature and heritage of South Carolina. I like to say that we're kind of the liberal arts for out-of-school adults. We kind of provide continuing education. And South Carolina has such a rich story to tell. We enjoy being a part of making history and literature come alive in our state.
Well, you've been sponsoring books, you've been sponsoring studies, you've been sponsoring plays, sponsoring almost everything that comes to the Beaufort County Library. You've sponsored to start off with Santa Elena Foundation. Through the NEH, you supported the NEH grant for $200,000 for the Reconstruction teachers program. So you've got a thumbprint here. But a lot of people still don't know. I guess it's because humanities is so inclusive.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we are kind of under the radar, you're absolutely right, but we like to think that we've tried to touch a lot of areas in South Carolina and made people's lives a lot more interesting and enriched because of our programming. We're very pleased for years and years of having a chance to work in Beaufort. We've had some wonderful board members here, including Billy's mother, Harriet, was a longtime board member, and Betty Ann Mead and others from Beaufort have helped make communities more exciting, more alive, more enriched through the arts and humanities.
Right. And this year's Humanities Festival in Beaufort, our focus is going to be sense of place. Mm-hmm. So we're going to capture and pull together many of the different organizations that have done such a good job of telling our history, giving a sense of place to Beaufort through arts, history, culture, the humanities.
And the humanities.
The humanities, which I think is the umbrella for a lot of these. We just created in Beaufort and have applied for designation. We'll probably get it to be a cultural district. And people say, well, what is culture? Well, I tell them it's humanities. And they say, what is humanities? That's what it's a combination of history, art, storytelling, culture, music, stuff. You know, do you want to describe one of the other festivals so that you've had in the past, which might help people better understand?
Yeah, we've had, of course, had humanities festivals throughout the state. Recently, a couple years ago in Walterboro, many people are familiar, of course, with Walterboro, had a great festival there that was hosted by the museum and the farmers market. And we've had programs at the Artisan Center and in many places, even in some of the local churches. To me, one of the most touching things in the Walterboro Festival, we had a big program out at the Walterboro Airport remembering the Tuskegee Airmen. And a 95-year-old airman was there to speak. And that was a very touching moment as he talked about his experiences in Walterboro in the early 1940s, which was a long time ago. And that what to me, so whether we were in Camden last year and of course visited horse barns in horse country, but every community in South Carolina has a rich past, and a lot of local folks are not even as familiar as they should be with that. And then plus others of us, I come from Columbia, but people who come from out of town enjoy learning about a South Carolina. This is our state, and these are our communities, and it's fun to get to know them a little better.
It's amazing how many of the people who live in the towns don't know. When I lived in Washington, D.C., I never went to the Washington Monument, of course, until I had company come to visit me.
Right.
So the Beaufort Humanities Festival, Beaufort County, I'm expecting we'll have a lot of people in Beaufort who will find that this is an opportunity to venture over to the Coastal Discovery Museum on Hilton Head, or to the Heritage Library Foundation, also on Hilton Head, or out to Penn Center, or to the Beaufort History Museum, or to Santa Elena, which is our new kid on the block, or to the Center for the Arts, where there'll be sort of a gathering place and events. You know, one of the things that I like about humanities is that you don't go to the big cities, that you come to the smaller places that do not have the daily newspaper, I shouldn't say the daily newspaper because we have a daily newspaper, sort of, but you come to the smaller towns and give them a chance to show off. And my sense is, and you could speak to this because you're on the road a lot, that a lot of smaller towns are becoming very excited about the idea of standing up a museum, about packaging their history.
And you know, a lot of times that is who we are and what we have. And sometimes we don't really acknowledge who we are and what we have. And I think smaller communities have seen that sometimes there are some things there that are very rich that other people are interested in, and it draws some attention and people to come. Local museums, for example, we bring down very frequently a traveling exhibit from the Smithsonian, and those can only come to communities that are usually under 10,000 in population. I'll just give you one quick one. We had a very important Smithsonian exhibit in Walhalla, town of 3,200 people. And the mayor gave an impassioned speech. He said, "We really appreciate this," because he says, "I've never been to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. And to have the opportunity for Walhalla to host a very wonderful exhibit is a major event for our town." And you're right, towns appreciate what they have, and when others acknowledge what they have, I think, and that's what the humanities, what we try to do is to promote and show off some of the great assets that we do have.
I mean, I know that you've done music. I don't know, was it Smithsonian?
Yes, we did
the
one
music show you did here 2 years ago.
Yeah, we had one here in Beaufort.
That's right.
Yeah, that was great. You're talking about things. I have a wonderful job, Billy, because I get to learn a lot about the state. I could probably work for the Chamber of Commerce, but
you just do. You don't get paid.
But we just gave a grant for a program at about Fort Fremont. I didn't know anything about Fort Fremont. So come to the Humanities Festival and you'll learn about things like Fort Fremont.
You'll see a diorama, a build out of it. Randy, if someone's interested in learning more about the Humanities Council, how would they get in touch with you?
Probably the easiest way is to go to www.schumanities.org. Our website is a very comprehensive website. It'll give you access to the staff, to our grants program, calendar of events happening around the state, and a lot of other information as well. But go to our website, www.schumanities.org.
Terrific. Well, thank you, Randy. Come back to Beaufort more often. We're going to have you here for the next couple of months, I'm sure, putting together the festival. Look forward to the Humanities Festival in Beaufort County coming up this June. And you'll see more Randy Akers, you'll hear more about the South Carolina Humanities Council, and maybe you'll even chip in and help them. Thank you.